This is from the Daily Wire. It says the Capitol police officer who shot protester Ashli Babbit was found to be acting lawfully and in line with department policy and will not face internal sanctions, the Capitol Police said on Monday. The Daily Wire reported Friday that the officer who shot Babbit as she entered the Capitol Speaker's lobby through a broken window was formally exonerated after the Capitol Police conducted an internal investigation, according to an internal document. The internal Capitol Police investigation represented the latest such open investigation into the circumstances surrounding the 35-year-old Trump supporter's death. A memo on the matter obtained by NBC News said that no further action will be taken in this matter, meaning that the officer, who will not be named, will not face discipline. The Capitol Police unveiled the report itself on Monday. Officials said they had interviewed multiple witnesses and reviewed video and radio calls as part of the months-long probe. So, radio calls that we haven't heard. Video, we've seen a couple of videos that were taken by people in the crowd. Cell phone video. I'm going to assume that the Capitol Police looked at security video. There's security cameras all over the place in that building. We haven't seen those. We haven't even been told the name of the person who did this. And they say now, as they've said all along, that they're not going to tell us the name. They're not going to release the name because of threats. And I could respect that. And I would be fine with that. If not for the fact that every single time there's a shooting that BLM is upset about, we find out the police officer's name right away. And it doesn't matter if there's threats. I mean, you can have some of the most prominent, famous, visible people in the country, LeBron James, making threats and doxing the officer, putting his image out there, and still they're going to give us all the information that is demanded about that officer, just like they did in that case, in the Ma'Khia Bryant shooting. So if this was a general policy of we're not going to release the officer's name unless they're charged with a crime, but if they're not charged with a crime, we're not going to release their name because of concerns for the safety of their family. And also it's not fair to them because if it turns out that the shooting was justified, it's not fair that now that their name is out there and they got to live in fear for the rest of their lives because of this. I could respect that if that was the policy, but it's not. Because again, in every other case, at least if BLM is upset, we find out the officer's name. This is the only case that I can think of in recent memory where there was a police shooting that was controversial and they didn't tell us the name. And it just so happens it's the one shooting that BLM is not only unconcerned with and doesn't care about, but they're actually happy about it. They're cheering it on. They're happy that this woman died because she's white and they don't agree with her politics. And as we've known all along, BLM couldn't possibly give less of a damn about police shootings. That's never been what this is about. So that doesn't work. But we're supposed to, I guess, move on now. Because the Capitol Police, without showing us any of the video, without giving us any of the information that they have, without letting us hear from the witnesses that they supposedly talked to, and without even telling us the name of this person, they have looked into it and they said, the Capitol Police have decided that the Capitol Police didn't do anything wrong. Well, that's it then, I guess. I mean, if the Capitol Police say they didn't do anything wrong, then I guess they didn't do anything wrong. And again, all of the people who normally hate the police, to say that they distrust the police would be a massive understatement. I mean, they believe that police officers are by and large racist serial killers. And yet in this case, they say, well, if the police say it was fine, then it was probably fine. It's an absolute joke. And at the very least, this man's name should be released. And it's the Capitol Police aren't the only ones who know this guy's name. I can guarantee you every single Republican in Congress knows who the guy is. They all know. And they could tell us, but they don't. Donald Trump was president when this happened. He absolutely knows who did it. In fact, he has said that he knows who did it. He's not telling us. So I don't just put the blame on Democrats and the Capitol Police. It's the same story again with Republicans. Going along with the flow, being spineless, gutless jellyfish, when they could come out and say, no, this is wrong. Here, there should at least be some transparency with this. Here's the man who did this. They could even probably arrange to leak the security footage if they wanted to. That is what Democrats would do. Need it even be said? You reverse the situation here, and it was a Capitol Police officer who shot an unarmed BLM activist female, because she was crawling through a window. And she was shot and killed by Capitol Police. They don't tell us the name. They're not transparent about it. You can guarantee the Democrat Party, they would have that name out there. They would have the footage out there. They would have all the information in the public immediately. Instead, we have Republicans that just sit on their hands and say, well, there's nothing we could do, I guess. That's it. Let's move on. Well, I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Matt Walsh Show. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right down there so you can stay up to date on all of our future content.